You hear the light of the cars and the beat. You know what time it is, Family Drive. I'm your co-host, Sibulele Zogufa, and I'm joined here by my co-host as usual. Just to say what's up to the people at home.
What's up, guys?
Well,
Where do we start?
first of all, begrudgingly, we have to congratulate Red Bull on winning the Constructors' Championship.
Yeah. I thought we were just gonna skip past that. You want to go there?
We'll go there later, but first,
We'll
some
go there
things,
later.
some things we have to bring up. Crazy stuff happening in motorsport.
There's a bunch of stuff happening. Audi's been confirmed
The four rings are in the building.
at long last from 2026, and we predicted it.
Early few even.
Just saying.
I need to find the clip. If I do, I'll post it here so you can hear it.
Honestly.
But also, Porsche close to agreeing a 50% stake in Williams.
Yeah, so looks like Williams needs the money. Porsche found a way in.
Mhm.
That'll be an interesting one to watch.
That's going to cut a little bit into Merck's budget.
Can you imagine it somehow brings Williams up to play at the front of the field?
With Albon driving?
I promise you.
No.
You've seen Porsche with their engine development lately in motorsport.
That
And
is
they
true.
have been on
That is
another
true.
level.
That I think was the 918 Spider.
Yeah, like
Dirty things.
anything they've put into Le Mans even has been a masterpiece. Like,
They might actually push Williams up to the top level,
oh, so I'm looking forward to that.
but
That's
not
going to be an
but
interesting one to watch.
not with Albon driving. Not with Albon driving.
He's contracted for a few years though, isn't he? I think he's contracted until end of 2024 at least.
They'll perform, but not with Albon driving.
Yeah.
Not with Did you see that awkward presser
No.
situation where he was like, where Lewis asked him, "Are you blonde everywhere?"
Yeah, and he was
And your
like,
boy was like, he didn't even see it.
went right over his head.
Nah, Jack. So,
Yeah.
but also, you were saying,
They're gonna apparently put Logan Sargent in there if he gets enough
yeah,
super license points. So what he has to score sixth or higher in the F2 championship to get the super license points needed. So that looks likely with Logan Sargent and Albon.
but he's in and around the
And
mix. Like he's in and
yeah,
around the mix, so he might actually get the drive this year. But the championship, Drago,
I'm telling you, just with that driver change up alone, Williams are going to start doing better.
it's a different time. It's a
Yeah,
different time. But there's also a few more drivers that might get their drives this season, in free practice and as well as in testing. I know. Let me
I
just pull it up here real quick. I had it written down.
can't even remember.
Excuse me. I have it written down. I have it written down. I don't want to lie to the people at home. Oh, Zach O'Sullivan, who's part of Williams' driver academy.
Don't know that name anyway.
But he's gonna drive for Aston Martin. He actually drove for Aston Martin on Tuesday,
Okay.
and I'm not sure what the session was actually called. He got it after winning the Autosport BRDC award in 2021.
Okay.
I don't know if that's one of the British Racing Driving Championship, maybe.
Something like that.
We'll do more research, I promise you.
No, I think you were right. I think it is that.
As well as also another Aussie is going to be joining the mix, Jack Doohan.
Oh,
You familiar
Jack
with him?
Doohan.
You familiar with him? How is he? Is
His
he nice?
his dad is
Mo-
Mick Doohan, MotoGP legend, basically.
Yeah, so he's on his way in there in the
Yeah.
mix. He's apparently going in for Alpine. He's joining that drive academy after
Okay.
Piastri ghosted them.
Yeah, I'm surprised Alpine actually still want to have a driver academy after
I'm
that.
telling you, the fire Rossi boy. Your boy's job is on the actual line. And you just brought up Logan Sargent. So the transition looks like it's coming in Formula One. Like they're phasing out the well, not phasing, but the old drivers are kind of making their way out, and some new roads are being paved for the youngins.
Yeah, so you're 100% right there. It is. I think next year, correct me if I'm wrong, we'll do some research on that as well. But I think next year we're going to have the youngest driver lineup, like almost of all time.
Max is gonna
It's going to
kill
be up there if
those
it is
gents.
not the youngest driver lineup. Like average age,
Mhm.
it's going to be pretty young.
Max might run through all those gents.
Yeah,
Like
true that.
if it's all the youngins with no EXP, he
But
might
you
run
heard
through those
Leclerc,
gents.
they asked him after the race, so do you think this is the beginning of a Max domination era? And he was like, I certainly hope not. Like,
Hope not.
I will no. And then he followed it by saying, I'll do everything I can to stop it. And he even like looked over at Max.
Now you know what? Actually, like Leclerc, the trial of Leclerc is continuing, boy. He has like he can drive so good. That battle they gave us at Circuit of the Americas. That young
Yeah,
taste. It was a
that
young
overtake
taste.
on Perez and his battle with Max. It was honestly it was a masterclass. But the Ferrari shitbox let them
Is it a
down
shit? Dog,
again.
you know what? You keep calling it a shitbox, but that car actually
I
does have pace.
I actually think I've said it a couple times on our shows that it's a beautiful red turd.
You
It's
can.
so like sculpted and it looks so Italian. And I mean,
It sounds beautiful too.
there's a photo of Max's tires and Leclerc's tires after the Suzuka race,
Mm.
the degradation. And in that photo, you can even see the suspension geometry of the Red Bull is so much like simpler than the Ferraris.
It's the
It just
Italian way,
looks
bro.
so much more simple. It looks like the Red Bull's got a much more basic setup, following completely different set of principles to the
Hmm. They're
Ferrari,
doing something different.
and it's just working. Ferrari just haven't figured out how to work the car with these new regulation tires. Let's put it that way. I think they've got that little bit of learning still to do on these 18-inch low profiles.
Yeah, it might be an Italian thing, bro. Because
And you'd think that Pirelli might be giving them a hand, like helping hand, sneaking off some information. It's the typical Italian way, but no.
yeah, no, you know what? Pirelli's busy trying to figure out their wet tire department.
Pirelli can't figure out a tire for shit. So I think even if Ferrari wanted to know, Pirelli would be like, yeah.
You know, no. Well, he's got a point to prove. They got what? We got 2 races left. Mexico,
Three
well,
races
Mexico,
less.
Brazil, and
Yeah.
then Abu Dhabi,
So final three.
the home
It's
of Latino heat.
some late races. What was it? 10 o'clock for Mexico for us, 8 o'clock for Brazil, and then Abu Dhabi at 3 o'clock. At least.
I don't know, like, yo, these far coast races kill, bro, with the time frame. Like, remember qualifying was around 9 o'clock or something on Saturday midnight. It was at midnight.
Qualifying was at midnight.
At midnight, I was out after the first 5 laps.
I think we even put it online. It was one of those strange days um, that you watched the race and the
Yeah,
qualifying on the same
on the
day.
same day. I'm like, bruh,
On the same day.
I couldn't. What was I supposed to do the entire day?
I was tired. I'm not gonna lie. I woke up at midnight for the full qualifying and interviews and everything afterwards.
And then they want to add Vegas. What time is Vegas? Is on the far west coast. What time is Vegas?
Oh, Vegas is gonna be super, super weird for us.
No,
It's
listen,
gonna be a strange time. It's gonna be like 3 or 4 in the morning for us.
fuck that.
Literally, yeah. It's gonna be like some bullshit time.
No, listen, I watch NBA and I watch NFL. Those games are at 3 o'clock in the morning, but even they have 7 o'clock times.
But I mean, this is how most of the American fans have to watch the rest of the year.
That's their problem.
That is their problem. But I can understand now why America is being so like pushed on the agenda of F1
Nah, you
because
see,
they've got a lot of viewership. People complaining. Okay, fair enough. Let's give them some races. But how many is it going to be now? 5, 4, 5?
Vegas, Circuit of the Americas, Miami,
There's
3.
more. No, really? Is that it?
Circuit of the Americas,
Okay. Well,
Vegas, Miami. I don't.
I think there's plans for at least 5 by the time the new engines come in 2026. So there's going to be more.
Oh God.
There's going to be more. It's not going to get any better for us. And Stefano Domenicali has already said they think they're at the maximum capacity in terms of races. They don't think they can do more than 24 per year.
Nah, Dominicano is an American fan, bro. Did you see him waxing lyrically about Brad Pitt in the movie
Yeah.
that's coming? He's an American fan, bro.
Brad Pitt that didn't really want to talk to Martin Brundle. I think that was quite funny.
Martin Brundle was, you know what? Actually, I gotta give it up to Martin Brundle. He kept it real when he was walking the garages, bro. He's like, he's won the championship under some strange circumstances. Lewis being robbed last year. I'm like, Brundle, when did you become this real, bro? When did you become this real? So
Oh,
I actually respect Brundle, but he actually said something earlier in the week. He was talking about Daniel Ricciardo,
okay.
saying that his next drive reserve role might likely be either at Merck or a shock return to Red Bull.
Yeah, I've also heard those rumors, but I've also heard another rumor
What room is that?
that he might be in the paddock next year as a ESPN broadcaster for F1. Literally, that's the latest rumor I heard, and I was like, "What, Danny Rick?
It
Can you
makes sense.
imagine Danny Rick in the paddock for
It, it,
ESPN? Like,
it makes sense when he said I'll be around. When we asked him
yeah."
about his future, and it makes sense him being around. But I mean, dog, as long as I don't have to watch Sky, I'd rather watch ESPN's broadcast of races, bro. I'm over the Sky broadcasters.
I'll definitely give it a watch if Danny Rick's involved. Like,
No,
he's a funny
like
oak.
you might say some things because even him last year at Abu Dhabi, he was like, "Oh no, that they've got that wrong." Oh
Yeah.
no, that's not right.
Yeah.
So he might be a guy who calls it like it is.
Yeah.
He might be. He won't be Kimi Räikkönen. He won't have the
So
juice as
I'm
Kimi.
not completely against it. We would like to see him as a driver, or
But I
maybe in
wouldn't.
some kind of reserve role. Maybe he can be a broadcaster and a reserve driver.
Nah,
Who
listen,
knows?
I'm done on Danny Rick. I'm out.
I
Anybody who keeps trying to justify his greatness is not
I also think
on the same level as me.
he literally shot himself in the foot when he left Red Bull. So
And you've been firm on that stance since the
literally, I
beginning.
have not chopped and like swapped on that one.
Uh,
It's been Danny Rick fucked up when he left
Dog,
Red
he ran
Bull.
away. He ran away.
He did run away.
Nah, he must nut up, bro. Listen, it's a tough time. The road to redemption is a tough one. The road to redemption is a tough one. That's why Leclerc must be careful. He must be very careful. Very careful. Otherwise, he might find himself in that mix also.
Leclerc is probably going to stick it out with Ferrari, and if they offer him a renewal, I'm willing to bet Leclerc will take it.
But
Because I mean, Max is going to be at Red Bull for 8 years. If Leclerc seriously wants to challenge Max, the only way I see it is to stick it out with the team he's at and develop the car and like form that kind of synergy that Max and Red Bull have.
will you find it though?
So
Because it looks like Ferrari's got some fight in him now. Your sporting director came out and was like, Red Bull have very good protection on the straights because of their straight line
yeah,
speed.
Ferrari just I think they developed the car completely wrong.
Hmm.
They didn't think the cars were going to be as fast as what they actually turned out to be this year, and they were like betting on that. They were banking on it basically.
Hmm.
So I think next year there will be a redesign of the car. One thing I do think is next year you're probably not going to see those side pods,
Oh, for
those
sure.
crazy bathtub side pods.
Oh, but you might see them on the W14 because Toto came out and was like, "Yo,
I will be very surprised if Ferrari still run that because I'm still convinced that in some way, shape, or form, aerodynamically also kind of loads the car up too much, and that's probably why they've got this tire dig
mm,
compared to the Red Bull. It's a lot more, let's say, aerodynamically efficient than that Ferrari.
it just might be." It
Because I
looks
mean,
like,
those side pods, you can't tell me that those things are fast on the straights. Like they cause a lot of drag,
yo, listen,
a
please
hell
don't
of a lot of drag.
just.
No wonder we're like 7 k's an hour slower.
Yeah, yeah, you see the best. But speaking of side pods, you know what? I'm gonna give it up now. I'm
Mercedes
gonna give them some love this week. I'm gonna give them some
finally
love.
made the right
I'm gonna
decision.
give them some love this week. Those boys at Brackley have been on some different stuff.
I wonder if it's because the fans have been calling for that car to
We've
be
been.
thrown in the trash at the bottom of the Mariana Trench. Bury that
Yeah, no, first we
W13.
gotta blow it up, set it on fire, and then throw it at the bottom of the trenches. But let me tell you something.
Uh,
I don't know where it came from, but it just seems as if we're almost looking like we can get our last victory, as I said before, in Abu Dhabi.
yeah.
It looks like that way. Because if Max wasn't on mediums in Circuit of the Americas, we had him.
Well, apparently, so Mercedes are expected to be very fast for the remaining 3 races because their last upgrade wasn't anything special. And for some reason, they had that odd one wing in the garage. I swear that was almost like a distraction as to what they'd really brought
No,
to
listen,
Coda.
we have to do
Because
whatever it takes now. Okay, because we've seen the FIA seems to only punish Merck and Ferrari for their things. That's it seems as if those are the main people that they punish. Yeah, they get it Aston Martin a little bit
well,
and
were
Williams.
you guys ever really punished for that DAS? Not really. So that was a little bit of a cheating in a way.
Easy, we're talking about 2022. Don't bring up old things. We're talking about 2022.
So yeah, before you point that gun at us.
I'm pointing it at Red Bull, bro. Because they haven't gotten any sanctions, bro.
Not a single word from the FIA since Suzuka. And I think that's quite a damn shame. I understand that what's the Red Bull owner's name?
Dietrich.
Dietrich Massers.
I don't know his last name. I
Very,
don't want to
yeah,
mess up his last
very
name.
Austrian surname that I cannot pronounce. But anyway, ever since he passed away, they postponed the talks and said that talks would reconvene, I think, actually today on
Hmm.
Wednesday. So yeah, it's going to take them at least another race or two, I think, to figure out the penalty. I don't expect we're going to hear anything from the
Nothing.
FIA
Not a
at
damn thing.
Mexico
Fuck
at
them.
best. And really hope they do announce the penalty at Brazil. Because can you imagine they announce a penalty at Abu Dhabi?
You know what? Actually, that'd make
that
for great television. I won't
that
lie
would
to you.
just be so weird.
That would make for great, great television. And I won't lie, I'll be happy, Munya, I'll be happy. But you know what the problem is? The punishment will not fit the crime.
No, it's definitely not. So there was talks of 25% less wind tunnel time.
What the hell does that do for the championships they stole?
But yeah, so Red Bull saw it as too severe and they rejected that offer. So I don't know what they're going to come up with.
Okay, you know what?
But I've got a suspicion, and I
No, we gotta
think
rap. We have to rap about this.
I,
When in your life?
I think it's going to be constructors' points because they placed second last year, didn't they?
Yeah,
Behind Mercedes.
yeah,
Mercedes took the constructors last year.
yeah.
So to take away points from Red Bull for last year's constructors isn't going to hurt
It's
them much.
useless.
Because Ferrari, I think we're so far fucking back, anyways. So that I'm telling you now, it's going to be some kind of monetary fine, which is also going to be pointless. Like, how do you punish people for overspending by telling them to spend some more? That doesn't really teach what you're trying to get them to learn. But
Joking. Trying to
yeah,
tell
it's
you.
going to be a financial penalty and probably some constructors' points deducted. That's what I read.
That's useless. But we expect this because we know where President uh
Mohammed bin
there you go.
Sulayem.
There you go. Where his allegiance lies.
Yeah,
We all know where his allegiance lies, so we all
former
know.
F a former Ford rally driver that was heavily sponsored by Red Bull.
We showed you all the
And
pictures
I'm
last week.
pretty sure even in that when they showed him on shit, I'm gonna lie to you now, but I also think it was Suzuka when they showed him in the pits with Toto and someone else, someone I think it was James Allison. I'm gonna lie to you now, but it was one of the other
One of
higher
the J
ups,
Crew.
one of the J crews standing there with Toto, and you could actually almost hear Mohammed bin Sulayem telling Toto that he's hoping because of his previous relationships with Red Bull that he's going to be able to bring them to the table and negotiate a fair penalty. You could like hear those talks. So maybe it's not necessarily a bad thing. Maybe his former relationship with them will come to some or other meaningful agreement.
He's not gonna do anything.
We're hoping because I mean, if it doesn't, then
You
we're,
see, the
we're gonna have another Michael Massey situation where people are gonna be calling for
like
his
say the court of
head.
public opinion still wants a verdict on Messi.
People are gonna be like, "Now it's Mohammed bin
No,
Sulayem."
he's not off. He's not off the hook, Messi. He's not off the. He's not off the hook.
Rumor
Telling you,
has it Massey's still hiding in a
he's
log
down under
cabin in
somewhere.
Switzerland.
He's in a kangaroo's pouch right now, fucking around in the.
In the outback.
Oh
uh,
my god! But when have you
trash
ever in
talking.
the nonsense chats? When have you ever in your life had to negotiate a punishment for
I
something
know.
you did?
How do you not just dish it out and be like, rules are rules, Jack?
Bruh,
Like,
why do they have
that's what.
regulations? Why do they have regulations?
Oh, no.
It's a fucking joke thing, bruh. You see Christian Horner manifesting crocodile tears after the Crown Constructors. He didn't even
Uh,
really want to hug his wife. It was like he wanted to side hug,
oh,
but then she like came in and he's like,
yeah.
I'm like, bro, you just won the constructors. It's because you know you stole it.
Maybe something's
Unbelievable.
weighing in on old Horner's conscience. Maybe. Just
Nah,
maybe.
nah, he's got socio tendencies. It looks like he's got socio. He's
Uh,
got socio tendencies. I mean, he was mad as hell at Zach Brown for coming out with that
yeah.
letter, and then like, a couple days later, FA is like, "You did some bullshit."
But also, Zach Brown changed his tune quickly when he got put into the interview because Matteo Bonotto was supposed to be in that interview, but he was feeling unwell and had to go back to Italy. So
You know,
Zach Brown got put
you know
into
how
that.
Mateo moves, bro. You know how Bernardo moves. It's not about the smoke.
So there were some shady moves by,
He's not
by
about the
both of
smoke.
them.
Bernardo's not about the smoke. Bro. But your sporting director's about the smoke. I actually like him. I
Who,
like him.
Lawrence Makeys.
Yeah, I'm with him. He wasn't afraid. He's like, hey, listen, me, I'm gonna call this what it is right here and right now. I need more of that energy from you guys, man.
That's why I still say Bonotto needs to go. Ferrari are not going to do as well as we want them to do until that man's left the building. And I'm convinced of that. Like with every fiber of my being, I'm convinced that Bonotto's not the man.
You've consistently heard it here. Panotto, not the guy. Not the
You're going to
guy.
see us throw a party the day that he leaves. And I'll even buy some of that Ferrari champagne to celebrate it.
Wait, let me tell you, you don't have the wait, we don't have the bag for that. The hat is 90 euros, bruh.
I know.
The hat.
It's a fucking cap, 90
Bruh.
euros.
Dog, me, I'll go buy a red cap now and then like get a laminated Ferrari sticker and just like paste it in the front.
Stick it on it.
Cost me $30. Okay,
That's a joke.
let's get to Circuit of the Americas. What a hell of a Grand Prix, bro.
Honestly, I think one of the best races of the year. In
Yeah,
my books, definitely up there, top 3 at least.
I had a moment where I was like, I'm not mad at Formula One in this moment for giving me this.
But, and I have to mention, it was boring for the very first like part of it. Those
Yeah.
first 20, 28 laps it was.
Yeah.
I was
Slow, slow, nothing happening. Nothing
that was
happening.
one of those races where I was just like occasionally glancing over at it, like not even really watching, because I just saw Max is gonna absolutely dominate this. He had a
He was
slow
out of
stop,
there.
and then oh no,
He was out of there. Also, okay.
the race was served well by the safety cars for once.
Lonzo taking off like a
Yeah.
747.
Trying to play Rocket League.
No, Stroll did that shit on purpose, bruh.
Stroll,
Stroll
I don't
hit him on
know what
purpose.
he was doing. How do you cover off the overtake on a straight?
Look, even on the radio when he was
Hey,
like, I crashed.
yeah.
Sorry. And then he's like, oh, wait,
How do you know Daddy owns the team?
do whatever you want. Do
You get
whatever you
radio messages like that. I crashed. I'm sorry, but like you
Bruh.
saw photos of him before the Grand Prix, even, and it was like the most uninterested man you've ever seen in your life walking into the paddock. He was like all slumped and looked like a grumpy ass
It's
man.
because
Did
he knew he
not
was
want to
gonna do
be there.
something sus. He knew he was gonna do something sus. Because you watch him, like Lonzo's right behind him. He's like, okay,
Yeah,
I'm gonna take him, and then your boy's just like, oh,
just
okay,
just as he started
just enough,
impressing us,
just
like
enough to make it look suspect, but not guilty. I'm telling you that Aston Martin garage is gonna be a hell of a lot of fun to watch next season.
it is. But like just as he was starting to impress us at Suzuka with those mighty overtakes in the rain, goes and does that bullshit. Nearly
And he was
kills
whipping it. He was
Alonso.
whipping it at Circle of the
I
Americas.
mean,
He's
did
whipping
you
it.
see Alonso sitting on his car, literally hunched over? It looked like Alonso was fearing for his life.
Hey, boy
He was
almost
like, I
almost
don't know if I want to come back next week for this job.
It's crazy. And you know Alonso is petty as all hell. He's not gonna let this go.
No.
At some point in
And
the season
while we're
next
on
year.
Alonso, the punishment he got for his
The
what
mirror.
the right mirror that flew off
What the
because
hell
of
was he
the
supposed to do
accident
about that?
got a 30-second penalty because of that.
What was he supposed to do about that?
Not once got shown the black and orange flag. The FIA actually inspected his car after the race and cleared it.
No ways.
And cleared it. And then they
Nah.
still award this penalty after a Haas protest. I get it. Haas are very sour because of the Magnussen bullshit with the end plates, but no black and orange flag. Car is cleared by the FIA and then a penalty gets dished out. It's one of the weirdest things I've ever seen in Formula One, if
No,
I'm
dog.
honest.
Me, I'm gonna tell you, nah. You know my feelings on Alonso. I don't have to tell you. And you know my feelings on Gunter Steiner. So I'm riding with Steiner on this one. Punish his ass. Put him at the back of the grid if you have to.
But I mean, the penalty they gave Lance Stroll was not enough. They gave him a three-place grid penalty and 2 points on his license.
Let me tell you, Stroll has assassin-like destruction within him.
It's almost as if someone is scared of Lance Stroll.
Exactly.
Lawrence Stroll, I mean, Daddy Stroll.
Hey, he's a billionaire. He owns
Someone
the
is
team.
scared. So yeah, his son's not gonna get punished that hard. I mean, look at the guy. He just basically turned a crappy team into Aston Martin.
You know what I'm saying?
Like,
And Stroll's driving like he actually knows what he's doing. Well, except for that smidging of a moment. But he's actually driving like he knows what he's doing.
there was a slither of hope and then it vanished. So that's all I'm saying on that. I honestly think Stroll, he probably doesn't deserve to be on the grid. He's another Latifi.
Nah, you know what? I actually spoke about this, man. He's grinding. Okay, except for that lapse in judgment, he's been grinding. I mean,
Mm,
that was his highest qualification since like he took pole in Turkey, I think, 2020.
mm.
Turkey since then. So he's finding his footing in the car. I think he stopped bitching too because he stopped being the guy who was crying on the radio the whole time, yelling at the team.
Mm.
I think somebody pulled him aside and was like, "This isn't gonna work."
Yeah, you need to cut that shit out. Like,
He was doing all right, Lonzo. Keep your head up, boy, but you ain't got no sympathy for me, and you already know that. Vettel, since we're on Aston Martin, let's talk about him going in demon mode.
yo, Vettel, the last couple of races, the way he raced Alonso across the line, that was
Bruh.
also at Suzuka, and then Magnussen at Circuit of the Americas. Now that was
Not even Magnus. He had the thing. If that ridiculous pit didn't happen,
yeah. Look, someone someone fucked up at Aston Martin.
they did a holy. And you
That
know,
pit stop was like 16 seconds or something.
I
It
think
was
the front jack guy from us got fired, and he went to Aston Martin
found a job at Aston
because the same system. He's standing there like this, and you're like, "Let's put the car down."
Had to pick the car back up to put the wheel back.
Bruh.
It was
Calamity, bro.
yeah, it was a horror show.
Unnecessary mess. I feel bad for Vettel, bro, because he's been
And
in demon mode.
still, he
lately.
managed to put it in P8 or P7 after the Alonso penalty. I think.
No, he was moving different.
That is some serious drive. Like, Seb, are you sure you want to retire?
No, he confirmed it. He's like, I'll miss the adrenaline, but not really. Like, I'm not coming back. And I'm like, why, dude? You still
Ju-
got the juice.
This is the Vettel that I wish we still had at Ferrari. Like,
This guy,
this
that
is,
2017 Vettel.
yeah, that Ferrari race winner. That's that Vettel that was showing his head again. And honestly, I think he's retiring just as he's finding himself again.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let me tell you, Abu Dhabi might change
Uh,
his mind.
he's gonna pull a Alonso. Mark my words. He's gonna do some sabbatical. He's gonna get hooked on some form of racing, probably endurance or rally or something, and
And he'll
then
be
make
back.
a F1 return. Yeah,
He'll definitely be back. He'll definitely be back.
Seb's he's too good at racing. He's got a family. I understand that, but I don't think he's gonna stay away from racing for long.
He's. I think he's the acceptance is allowing him to give it everything he's got. I think he's no longer like trying to reserve anything for next season. He's just like, you know what? It's the last 250 now, and I'm going to give it everything. And for some strange reason, that Aston Martin is rapid.
It's the green Red Bull. That's all I'm saying.
It's true. The green Red Bull is rapid.
Is it surprising that the green Red Bull is one of the cars that's made the most like gains in the last, I don't know, let's say last half of the season since the summer break?
Outside of Merck, yeah,
Yeah, it's not that surprising to me because we know they copied Red Bull.
easily, easily.
So like we expected them to be quick. But what surprised me was Alpine, that car that's not made for reliability,
All of a sudden,
took off. It slammed itself into a barrier, and the only thing that broke off of it was the right mirror.
insanity, bruh.
That thing turned out to be harder to break than a
It's
Nokia
made of vibranium.
3310.
It's made of vibranium, easily made of vibranium. But
So,
just real quick, I just want to make a point here.
mm,
Not Sebastian, Esteban Ocon started in 20th from the grid,
yeah.
went all the way up to 8th,
Hmm.
and finished 12th.
Exactly what we've been saying about him. He's a
And
midfield
dude,
driver.
and people been mad at me, calling me a hater for saying this guy doesn't do anything. He had 2 safety cars.
He's a midfield driver.
Let's look at the. He had 2 safety cars. 3 people crashed out, so that means he finished 12th out of 17. Joking
Where did Alonso manage to put that car that he nearly
with no
crashed?
right mirror.
Put that thing up there, like
Come on, and then I think,
P6 or something. It was for Alonso. It was stupid crazy.
dude, and then you got I don't know if it was Ted Kravitz or Martin Brundle being like Esteban Ocon is one of the more aggressive drivers on the track. I'm like, are you sure, bro?
Are you
Are you
fucking
like, is
shitting
that
me?
your honest opinion? Have you seen what he does?
I'd believe you if you said it was George Russell, because the amount of times George Russell has bullet trained into the side of
The
someone.
Mercedes hitman. The Mercedes hitman.
Honestly, so Carlos Sainz, Ferrari buyer's remorse, has not finished a third of the races this season. DNF'd a third of the races. I want to know how many of those were down to George.
Hey, there might be about 2 or 3, boy. I'm sorry, because he's the one that's above him in the was it above him in the driver's stand.
Well, he
championship
is
rating.
now.
Yeah,
I think he was fighting him. He was like a point behind him or a couple of points ahead of him. But
yeah.
now he's far ahead.
But if you look at it off the launch, both Mercs went hard into the corner, locked up.
Mm.
But goat gonna be the goat. He knows where to go. And then George was just like, you know what? Is that Carlos?
Send it.
Done with him. Done with him. Now I'm done. I'm like, I used to call him Double G Russ, ne? I don't have to like him, but I can respect it because that movie pulled on Science. I honestly think he did that shit on
Yeah.
purpose.
No, look, he locked up. It wasn't on purpose, but
That shit looks
it
suspect.
was awfully convenient. Let's put it that way.
Straight into Science, straight, like dead straight, boy. Not dead straight, bro. Not because even I think it was.
No, but it's Sainz tried to pull a switcheroo on the first, corner, because he saw Max turned in, and then he tried to pull in, on the
Yeah.
inside of Max to get the straight line speed, a better drive
Mm.
after the corner. But I mean, you're on the first corner of the first lap. You have 20 cars behind
and you
you.
just locked up. Well,
How do you
George was
think
locked up.
suddenly putting your car from behind this car to next to that car is gonna go? Obviously, you're gonna hit something or someone.
Yeah, that's
So,
the
like-
aggression Science has that Leclerc needs.
Technical difficulties.
Yep,
again.
that is the mental aggression that Science has that Leclerc needs. Leclerc has way more talent because that switcheroo he pulled on Max on one of those codes when they were going
Dude,
side by
I
side
was
around
about
each
to
other.
say, did you not watch Coda?
No, relax. I see the gap in talent.
Leclerc drove from where? Where did he start? Hey, he had a 10 place penalty, so he started 12th.
Yeah.
So
He whipped it.
first time that he drove from outside the top 7 onto the podium. So like, he's showing movement in the right direction. I'll give him credit.
But he gave up on chasing Max and Lewis.
just didn't have the tires. That Ferrari shitbox.
That can't be the excuse every race, bro.
No, but I also feel like, okay, science already had DNF'd. Don't push the car so hard that you might just put it into the wall, because Circuit of the Americas is, I think it was the track with the highest G loading, average G
Because most
loading
is that
throughout the track.
that like
There's
incline
that
going on
hill
there.
at the beginning, there's the
The snake,
S's,
yeah.
so it's honestly, it's one of the harshest tracks on your tire. If you already have a car that you know struggles with tire dig, don't even risk it.
The
So
thing is, he had him early. I don't like he had him. He
he
had
had him,
him,
but those tires just fell away.
but it
The
doesn't make
Red
sense.
Bull just looks after those tires so much
This is what
better.
I don't get. He came out in front of him in the pits when they both came on for mediums,
Yeah,
and Max
thanks to
had
that
that
11
weirdly
second
suspect
stop.
long pit stop. And that's not like Red Bull, bro. Red Bull doesn't
Yeah.
do 11-second pit stops. But he pulled out in front of him, and I thought, I'm like, Leclerc, do us a favor, boy. Do us a favor.
I
Because we
know.
were on them hard, moving the right way, the tactical way. But going back to Leclerc, he had him, and then I can't remember what happened that led to him getting overtaken. It was DRS. He took him on DRS.
Yeah, it was literally Max just catching him
Straight
because
line speed. It was a straight line speed of the
straight
Red
line
Bull.
speed, DRS, and Charles fought him for a little bit, but couldn't really keep that battle alive for much longer, so he had to let him go.
No, but dog, me, I wouldn't care.
Yeah.
Because what did you guys do? Unnecessarily, you took a brand new engine. That was an
Yeah,
unnecessary penalty for
what
Leclerc to
in the
take.
hell was the point of that? Honestly, I don't see Ferrari's logic behind it. I think the last engine they took would have taken them to the end of the season.
Well, speaking of penalties and grid positions and pit stops, can you explain to me what the rule is when you get a penalty? Like a penalty, a 5-second penalty, and you come into the pits and you have to serve it? Do you have to do it immediately on the next lap? Or can you just keep whipping it and only serve it when you get into the pits?
Yeah, you're allowed to serve it whenever.
Then why on any earth or any universe would you call George in when he's in the front? Why would you do that?
So he can be held up for an additional 5 seconds before they
Oh
even
my
do
God.
anything.
You know what? God,
That was
fuck.
Mercedes pulling some
I'm
Ferrari
we gonna
moves.
rap about this. Dude, oh my God.
J.
Oh my
Crew.
God. They they fix the car and they fuck up the strat. They fuck up the strat. They fix the strat. They fuck up the car. I can't win with these gents this season, bro. No, bro. Literally all that work to get in front of Max. We're like, okay, we called it the right way. George is right in the mix. Keep George out for 3-4 more laps so that we can be in position to be ahead of this kid.
Yeah, have him get Max to chase and screw up the tires. Do something.
Dude.
Just anything.
Because
So that-
Hamilton went into pit, put the hards on, Max right behind him, and then George is coming up behind him. Like, George, okay, George is going like maybe like do a little Minister of Defense duties
Yeah.
over there.
Nothing.
He's in the pits. He serves a 5-second penalty.
Yep.
This kid is gone, hunting us down. Doug, I can't do this with
That
Merc
was
anymore.
Mercedes just opening the floodgates for Red Bull. That was a dumb move.
And then you know what hacked me after that? Peter Bonington has the nerve to be like, it's hammer time.
Because to be honest, if they didn't pull that bullshit, George had to come in at some point. But that
At some point.
at some point. But if they didn't pull that bullshit, because I mean, Max only overtook Lewis with like 7 or 8 laps to go.
Yeah, 6.
It might have been enough to just have turned the tables on that
We had it.
situation.
We had it.
Keep George out, have Max running dirty air behind you, stuffing up his tires.
Even just one lap. Just one more lap.
I'm sure he could have done 3 at least.
You know what? Actually, I wouldn't be surprised if
They
George...
should have
if
left
George-
him.
No, sorry. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if George called into the pit crew and was like, I'm coming in. I'm going to serve the penalty now. Self-serving bastard. Grr. I won't be. I was upset. I was upset when that move made no sense to me. It just technically made no sense.
Yeah, no, 0 cents.
Ridiculous.
Also, like Haas calling in Mick and then leaving Magnussen out. How did that do for Mick's race? Put him down in like P15 or something.
You know what I'm saying?
like-
Dropped him right to the bottom, right where Ricardo and
Right when they're complaining about him not scoring points, but they do that shit to him.
yeah, you know
He's
what?
not scoring points because you keep choosing Magnussen over him.
Maggie, bro,
So,
unbelievable. And
Haas-
he's still gonna be holding his seat next season. Mick is
Yeah,
the one that's up in the air.
apparently Magnussen is fighting for Mick to keep his seat. He's trying to relay that to Gunther and be like, give this kid a chance. But we know it's pretty much Gene Haas. That's
It's the final, and Mick
he's
crashed
not
too much.
impressed with the bills he's been getting.
Good. $1 million bill.
So I
Anyways.
think it is more down to that. I think if Mick can have a clean last like 3 races of the season, not put it in the wall, just finish the damn race, even if it's not points, then he probably will have a drive. But I think if he crashes at least once, just once, even in free practice, anything for the remaining 3 races,
He's out of there.
he's out of there.
He has to be. There's no other way. You can't perform
So
like this
Mick's got to
consistently.
step on some eggshells there and play his cards right.
Ridiculous thing. Okay, give me a minute because I'm gonna get really excited here now. The goat is back. Is this thing on? The goat. He never left, but we back. We back. That RB18 can't run from us anymore. If we had medium tires on, no way that kid was getting away from us.
It's thanks to those 5 kgs you guys shed off the car.
Where the hell did we find that?
And that was apparently the whole upgrade situation.
That
That's
Red
why
Bull
there
was
was
crying
that.
about.
That's why there was that wing out there. I think that's the distraction they were playing. Smoke and mirrors outside. Look at this illegal wing we've brought. Meanwhile, the
We're
car is
moving
5 kgs
We're
lighter.
moving different. We're moving different. And listen, he's been on the podium a couple times this season, but I saw something in Circuit of the Americas.
I honestly thought that he had a chance of winning it.
We had it.
Lap 40, 48 or so, I'd say, and he was leading it. I was like,
Nah,
this is getting interesting.
my thing is, I knew once Max got past Leclerc, it was only a matter of time. Because on that medium, that thing was ripping through.
Mm.
But boy, Hamilton managed to set a fastest sector, and then Max followed that right up in the middle
Yeah.
sector. And was like, listen, I'm coming for you.
Oh, that Red Bull just has straight line speed.
It does. But you know what? I'm hopeful because Goat said he's going to be back next season. And we're going all the way to the top.
And with a new
Completely brand new car.
new concept of car, so probably gonna have side pods, probably gonna have
It's going to be a completely new
probably
architecture. That's
probably
what
gonna
Toto
have
said.
wings instead of
Bruh, remember, you see those like the
actual
studs that
airplane
were on the
wings.
front wing, like sitting up on
Yeah.
Hamilton's car. Red Bull complained about that bullshit.
That's why I'm saying they're probably gonna have wings in different places.
So you know what? Keep that same energy when we complain. Don't cry when we complain about the things that you're doing.
Yeah. No,
But-
100%.
But I did say you have to
Like
be
you
petty.
said earlier, don't do the crime if you can't do the time.
That's right. That's correct, actually. My word, we back, man. We back. I'm feeling it again. I'm feeling it again. It's a different kind of a juice right now, bro. It's a different kind of a juice.
You guys are probably gonna fare better than Ferrari in the last 3 races. I'll give you that. I expect more Mercedes on the podiums than Ferraris.
I'm telling you, we're gonna win in Abu Dhabi. We're gonna win in Abu Dhabi.
Maybe Red Bull let you guys win.
No,
Imagine that.
Shit. That would ruin everything. I'll hate them even more.
Imagine Red Bull's like, all right, Sergio, you know what to do. Bam.
Not Sergio. Not Sergio. You know what? I actually wish we won this Grand Prix because then
I'm
in
kidding.
Mexico, ne?
Yeah.
I actually wanted, you know what? I wanted
Mexico.
Checo to be the one that wins the constructors championship. First of all, congratulations, Latino Heat, a world champion.
Can you imagine
deserve
he
it.
wins his race, his home race? Because he was just on the podium last year, and look how Papa Perez was out there celebrating.
You know I love Papa Perez, bro. Papa
So-
Perez is a gift.
I'm going for the Checo win.
I'm with that.
It has to happen at Mexico, and Papa Perez has to be there on the podium.
I'm with
spraying
that.
champagne.
Do you know what a fiesta is, bro? It's gonna be a fiesta. In Mexico, it's gonna be a fiesta.
I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a good one.
Insanity, bro. Formula One, thank you for Circuit of the Americas. It was
Yeah.
genuinely a gift. Great. Bruh, the only person who didn't enjoy it, ne, was Tim Cook, the
Tim
guy who works for
Cook.
Apple.
That man needs to be banned from a racetrack
Never
for the
again.
rest of his natural life for that waving.
Did he not know the Grand Prix was
flag he
over? What was
gave.
he doing?
Dude, it was honestly Apple's run by a robot or something.
And
That-
why is it Apple? Why is it the Apple
I don't-
CEO that's there?
I don't know. It was America, fuck yeah.
Dog,
Like,
Go
that's-
grab Andretti. Go grab Andretti.
Yeah.
Like,
Let's have him. One of his sons, even. How many
Dog,
does he have?
you
So
can even-
many.
dog, you can even go get Chip Ganassi or whoever, somebody who in the race. This guy was
Oh no, it was terrible.
dog,
Terrible.
insanity. But what a Grand Prix! This is what we love the sport for, man. Races like that.
I'm thoroughly surprised by how good the race was. We were expecting it to kind of wind down after the constructors and drivers wound up, but it really was a good one, and
delivered.
it gives me hope because it seems like the rest of the teams have just decided, well, fuck it, it's over. Let's try some weird shit.
Let's fuck around a little bit.
Mercedes lost 5 kgs. Ferrari might find something. McLaren are going backwards. Alpine built a Nokia 3310 of a car that's indestructible. Like the season's actually turning out to end on a very high
It's
note.
pretty good. It's pretty good. McLaren is stuff. McLaren fans, you guys might want to find a therapist really quickly. It's going to be a very tough 5 years for
You
you
guys
guys.
are not winning that battle with Alpine.
Not a damn thing.
It's not happening.
Not a damn thing. I mean, okay, but do you, if you look at Gasly and Norris, who do you think is better between the two?
I'd say Norris.
What?
Yeah, Gasly is much like Ocon for me.
I feel that.
Completely overrated, which is why I actually see some problems for LP next year. They're going to have two drivers that are exceptionally mediocre.
Yeah. Do you know he actually came out that he's on the cusp of breaking of wow English. Every episode it gets me, bruh. He's on the cusp of receiving a penalty that no other F1 driver has ever received.
Who, Gasly?
Yeah, if
What?
he gets one more like point
Oh,
strike
then he gets
point,
a race ban.
fully. No F1 driver's ever gotten that.
That might just happen.
He's had so many incidents this year that they points it's out of points,
Yeah.
right? So he's earned enough points that he needs one more strike, and
Well,
then
Wasn't it him that nearly killed Guan Yu?
yes,
Yeah, it was. It was pure Gasly that caused that all.
yeah, and then they punished him for the truck being on the tractor being on the
Yeah.
track.
For
So
going too fast under yellow flags or red flag conditions, whatever
you know
it was.
somebody's enjoying all of that. His name's Esteban Ocon.
Yep.
He's enjoying that whole calamity going on there. He's enjoying the whole thing. The entire thing falling apart.
That would be interesting. Imagine we actually have that happen. One race ban.
You know what I'm saying? Only more fuel for the fire for the
Yeah,
F1 MMA bout.
Definitely.
We have to talk about something, and we're going to end the show off here. We don't want to tell you guys on for too long, but I want to put something by you and see if you agree. That race or that drive, like take away the car, take away him winning the championship, take away them cheating and whatever. That drive for Max in Circuit of the Americas was a championship caliber drive.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, like he
He didn't
moaned
put
and
a foot
groaned a little
wrong.
bit. Yeah, he drove flawlessly.
And he made up an 11-second loss under that pit stop, you know. So
Insanity.
while keeping those tires alive. So
You know what I'm saying? So
like that's my thing. No one denies his talent. Really, I don't deny that he could be a 5-time, 6-time, 7-time world champ like Lewis Hamilton. It's really possible, like Michael Schumacher even. But let's stop crowning him the GOAT, please.
relax.
We're asking fans all over the world to please just stop crowning him the GOAT.
Just a smidge. Just
That would be like Ferrari fans calling Leclerc the GOAT. And like some people do, but the majority don't even think that Charles Leclerc is greatest of all time material. Like, he's a good driver. He's a damn good driver. He might be the one that finally wins this chip for us.
one more.
But it might be another Raikkonen situation where it's
One
one and
done.
only one.
One and done.
So, like, let's all just calm down and be realistic. He's a great, great driver. And with the right car and the right team, he's going to do well. Which, I mean, for the next 8 years, he's at Red Bull still.
He just doesn't have sauce.
So it's going to be down to Red Bull pulling up a major fuck up and developing a square tire or something
Yeah, not
for
with
Max.
Adrian on the team.
Yeah,
Not with
and,
Adrian on the
you know,
team.
like it's just not going to happen. So it's going to take a royal fuck up from Red Bull for Max's domination to end, I think.
Nah.
But until he gets there, until he gets those 4, 5, 6, whatever world championships, let's stop calling him the best of all time.
Well, he's gonna have to wait for number 3, boy, because that one's ours. That one
Telling
is
you,
coming home to Brackley.
Ferrari and Mercedes are really hungry after
Ah,
this
boy.
year.
It was a heartbreaking
Really,
experience.
really hungry. I mean, so how many people have won a race this year? How many different
You?
drivers? Do you actually even know?
Leclerc, Perez,
Sainz and Verstappen. 4
Red
drivers
Bull,
and 2 teams
Red Bull and Ferrari drivers
have
only.
won all of the damn races. Still, Ferrari are nowhere near the championship. And Mercedes is like, how have we not won a race?
Abu
So
Dhabi,
people
bruh.
people are coming in angry, I think, next year with a different kind of fire. Going to be testing all sorts of weird things because they might just be able to get away with it under
Ye-
this cost cap scandal.
Hey, listen, like even if like we might finish second and third there, but I'm cool with that because that means more wind tunnel time. So J Crew, you got one season left. You guys are on the road to redemption now.
So Ferrari as well. In second place, you don't get much more, but I mean that extra wind tunnel time. I'm hoping it does something for
No, we
us.
need it. We need it.
Because you guys getting the extra, I think you're going to be far ahead of Ferrari coming out the gates at Bahrain testing
Listen,
or Barcelona.
my boy's hungry. The team's gonna have more time.
You're going to have side pods.
We might not even put them on, eh? Because the cars were starting to work now with those grills on it. Maybe we just tweak it a little bit.
It's
You
going
know
to
what I'm
look a
saying?
little different, but not much.
Yeah,
Toto even said the bodywork's not necessarily going to change
yeah.
too
But he
much.
said the architecture of the car is gonna change though
Yeah,
for next season. So
might
I was
look
like,
less like a stingray and I don't know what, more like a sausage. I
stop hating
don't.
on us, guys. Yes, we're seeing the best. That car is hideous. Yes, but it's fine. We'll be back. Can they bring back the black paint too? Enough of the silver thing.
Just once, even, yeah.
Just
Just
once.
run it. Maybe that should be your special livery. Mercedes brings that out.
Abu Dhabi.
Well, yeah, once a year at Abu Dhabi,
Abu Dhabi
and
dressed in
call it
black.
the Batmobile.
You know how much swag that would be, bruh.
Because
Damn.
that car is the Batmobile in black. I'm convinced.
Bruh. W12
A W12.
and the W11. I want to cry. But that's it. There's a MotoGP is gonna get interesting. Um,
So yeah, MotoGP is going to get interesting. With I've seen some of the new bikes being released for next year, and the KTM 2023 bike looks insane. And we've got the ex Ducati rider Jack Miller coming to KTM alongside Brad Binder. So I'm actually excited for that aspect of it.
apparently he had a interesting situation with his teammate in Malaysia.
Who?
Oh, no, I'm thinking about something else. It's different. It's a different rider. I can't
Oh,
remember the name now.
yeah, I was
Mm.
about to say no incidents there.
Can't remember the name. I was like, it's hard to watch all these and keep up with all these races on a weekend.
So many different races, genres, and everything to
Bruh,
keep up with.
NASCAR.
Oh,
Yeah, go ahead.
sorry. One thing that I think we need to mention is that W Series might have ended without the season actually finishing. You know, 3 races were left out,
Mm.
but Formula One have announced
The Junior Women's
the
Series.
Junior Women's Series, so that is going to be interesting because that is going to mean that that'll give you a possibility to drive in F3 and F2.
Mm.
So they've at least, at long last, opened up the ranks to women to make it all the way up to F2, which we've been saying for a
Give
fucking
them
long
faster
time.
cars.
Like,
Give them a pathway in.
put one of those women in a fast car and watch them do some things.
Let's see, because I will lie, there were some exciting races from this season. They do know how to whip it. It's just the cars are very boring.
Very slow. Doesn't make for great racing. It could be improved with DRS. I feel like DRS should be taken away in Formula One, and it should be something that's in the lower classes to
Ooh,
spice up racing.
that would actually be interesting. Then it puts
Imagine
more
just,
skill on the driver.
yeah, no DRS in Formula One. Just let them run higher top speeds or whatever. Like, free the regulations up a little bit to allow them.
Have some fun with it. Have
Yeah.
some fun with it. Yo, did you hear NASCAR's gonna race on ice or snow next season?
Really? What?
Dead ass serious. They're gonna have there is a Euro series, and in
I
that Euro series,
I'm
they're
so
going to
watching this. Do you want to watch a giant fireball of like
that
16 cars?
that is a potential to happen, bruh.
That's gonna happen at an ice rink.
I don't know where, like, what they mean on ice. Like, what do
I
they mean they're
know
gonna
that
drive
is.
on ice?
I don't know. Maybe it's just gonna be in a very cold location.
Now they said ice. It's a snow series.
Snow series. Well, then they gotta have studded rally tires and shit like that. But still, I predict some bullshit.
Oh no,
coming.
definitely, definitely an ice oval. Ooh, I might actually just watch that one NASCAR race.
Yeah.
Just that.
Just that one.
Wow.
See what the casualty rate is.
No, let's hope it's zero. Let's hope it's zero. Zero. So yeah, the world of motorsport has got nuts. We got Mexico next. Do you want to do predictions?
Not really.
I feel like it's better when we leave it to the gods.
Yeah, we didn't really decide to make predictions for Coda, and that was one hell of a race. I feel like we go into
Thanks,
these
though.
races a lot more open minded when we don't make these predictions. We have hopes, let's call them that. Like,
Yes, yes, we have hopes. But
So I'll hope for a Leclerc podium, but I'm not going to even say where.
nah, I want
I just want him up there.
I want Latino Heat to win his home Grand Prix. He deserves it.
That much I will go for. Let's say that if we had to make one prediction, it's got to be Sergio Perez on the top step with Papa Perez
That's
right
right.
behind
We
him.
need it. Formula One needs it.
we need that.
We need it so badly. Well, this has been us.
That's been us.
Great show. I mean, oh, I can't wait for Mexico. Should be fun. Should be a lot of fun.
Can't wait for it. Another late night race for us, Central African time,
10 o'clock in the evening.
10 o'clock. It's going to be a painful one. You're going to go to bed on Sunday morning if you watch the whole race. But
Yeah. Well,
thoroughly going to be worth it.
thoroughly. We believe you. Hey, y'all stay safe. It's hotter than all things out here.
It's hotter than bowls.
Yeah, invest in a bicycle because the petrol price is going up on the first.
Yep.
And on that fireball, I've been Sula Sukupa. He's Chris too. This was Fat at the
Cheers,
Drive.
guys.
And we'll see you when the sun comes back around.